Last night we had a pretty bad storm here. We've got a lot of trees down, mostly tree damage and garden damage. But I'm just gonna do a walkthrough before I clean anything up, which I've got my work cut out for me, and show what the damage is. So this is when you walk out the front door of my house, this is the little garden area. We did have warning about the storm, so there was time to pull in some of our, little ornamental things and stuff like that. And also, I pulled the front end of the car into the garage. I have stuff in the garage, so like a lot of people, I don't have room to put the car in there, but I put the front end of the car in there and covered the rest of it up with blankets that I locked in with the door. Yeah, there's hail damage. Even with the blankets on, there's a big dent right there. I can see right away. So, definitely got some hail damage. And you could hear it. I mean, I think we had a tornado come through, because it was severe, or large hail up to, I saw some, yeah, there's another dent right there. Bunch of dents on the roof. Hopefully having the blanket on there softened the blow of the hail. It's a good thing I had it on there. Probably would have broken the windshield. Yeah, and I had the window covered too, so it doesn't look like we got any broken glass, at least not until we'll know when it dries out. So there's the people across the street are surveying damage. My neighbor across the street had a couple of big trees go down. So let me just walk through here and survey the damage. You can see all the shredded leaves on the roof. I don't see any big branches on the roof yet. We've got some big branches down from the trees out in the front and on the side of the house. Yeah, the truck took a lot more hail damage. I don't have full coverage on either one of these vehicles, so I'm just gonna have to live with whatever happens to it. This is my neighbor's yard over here. She's got a lot of trees down. And in the backyard, it's Armageddon back there. I'll get back there in a minute. A lot of big branches down off this cedar elm. Probably a lot of hail damage on that trailer, I'm sure. Hopefully it didn't leak. And this is some branches down in the front of the house. Looks like there was some like that tree right there has a branch coming down off it. I'll have to trim down. You can see there the branch on the ground. Fortunately, I don't see any big branches down on the roof, that's really good news. But anyway, let me just document the rest of this. We have some scattered tree branches around here, some by the road here. Let me pull this one back off away from the road so somebody doesn't run over it. This is a cedar elm tree, and I don't see any huge breaks on it, but definitely some branches down. There's some in the driveway that look like they just missed my truck. And I think there's some still up in that tree too, that are the branches that are there are holding it up. So might be a good idea to move the truck. So yeah, and this is the side yard here. A lot of tree damage here. This is this is a cedar elm here. And yeah, the cedar elms are the ones that broke. Like I said, you can see my neighbor's yard. She's got a lot of branches down. This is going to be a big cleanup, but before I start cleaning it up, I want to document it. And we got a lot of rain too. I mean, there was a huge amount of water coming down, hail coming down. I saw stones in the backyard the size of at least the size of golf balls, and maybe some bigger than that. Not even gonna be able to, I'm gonna have to get back here to, there's a big branch right there just kind of suspended by a part of another tree. I'll go through the house to get to the backyard because I'm not gonna be able to get through this gate. Damage here is phenomenal. So this is just walking out the back door of my house, and you can see all the debris, and that's that branch that broke off of that big cedar elm tree. You can see right there, it's just hanging, getting ready to fall. So, Penny, come here. I gotta keep them away from that because I don't want that falling and hurt one of my dogs. Just gonna go through and survey, document this damage. Big branches down, lighting, strips down. I had that ladder was just sitting on some sawhorses over here, but they came down. But big tree damage over here. That's a big tree, and so is this. That tree right there is pretty much toast. It took the biggest branch off of it, and it's laying down here on the ground. Some more tree branches down. That's one of my little garden areas there. These tomato plants and pepper plants. Looks like there's some tomatoes still hanging on them, some on the ground. So let's keep going. Big cedar tree here that's compromised, and it's got a huge branch that's split, and yeah, that tree is in danger of falling down, so that'll have to come out. Most of that tree will have to come out. This stuff, a lot of this stuff is beyond my ability to repair. It'll have to be done by some tree experts, because I don't have the ability to climb or the means to get up that high to cut that stuff down. So let's go ahead and walk over to the other side of the yard, into the backyard, and we've got tree damage back here too. Lots of little branches on the ground, and then some more cedar elm damage. A big cedar, juniper, whatever you want to call that, a huge branch down on it. You can see there's a big branch down on that and that. Now these are something that can be dealt with without calling in the professionals, most likely. So that's the yard. But the interesting thing is here's all my potted plants. If you look at them, they're laying. I haven't stood any of them back up, because what an interesting thing about it is the wind was coming from the opposite direction, or the storm was coming from the opposite direction as these are blown over from. So there was definitely some swirling winds. So yesterday, before the guys came in, this whole area here was covered in trees. From that tree right there, that's a cedar elm. That was a huge branch that came and fell on this fence right here. And you can see where it bent the fence right there and came down and put a hurting on the corner. It's a good thing it didn't hit right on the center of that. It really would have messed up that little shed of mine. But it bent that bar there, and one of the guys that was out here bent that bar back for me. I don't think I could have done it. It was pretty strong. But anyway, they cleaned this whole area up, and then The rest of all this debris is mine to clean up. I did it. There's more on this in the other part of the video. So I'll do another video where I show, you know, what happened to the garden. It hurt the garden bad, so I don't know, you know, how much vegetables we're going to get out of that garden. We'll get some tomatoes, but it's pretty disappointing. So the wind can do a lot of damage. I mean, that tree right there is probably 100 years old, that cedar. I've counted the rings on some of these that have come down in this yard, and they've been here for a long time. So, yeah. Look at that damage. So that's one of the ones where, you know, I can't try taking that down from the ground. You never know what's going to happen with those branches, and they could come down and kill you if they landed on you. So, not taking a chance on that. But tomorrow, I'll be cleaning up this mess. We're starting on it. And then somewhere underneath all this debris is my fire pit. This is all the leaves and everything and branches that I raked out of the front yard today. I just dumped them here. There's my fire pit over there underneath that tree branch. And so I'll get all the stuff cleaned up off the ground here as best I can. And then once I've got that done, then I'll figure out whether I'm going to rent a lift to trim these trees or not. I'm not going to pay somebody thousands of dollars to trim trees. I mean, these people are out of their mind on what they think they're going to charge you for doing something that takes a couple of hours. So, anyway, I'm not into the modern day pricing thing, so that's one of the reasons why I do a lot of stuff myself. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, share it, like it, and subscribe to my channel. Look at my neighbor's yard over there. Look at that branch laying on his roof. His yard's a mess too. I think the worst damage I've seen is right here in these two backyards. I've gone through the neighborhood. So anyway, that's all for now. Chin up. So just kind of an update. It's the 11th, the day after. My neighbor had her crew come in, and that big tree that was laid down next to the shed, the fabric shed, Harbor Freight commercial, it hit the shed, just a glancing blow, but it ripped it open and did some damage to it. But that was like a 12-inch branch off of a cedar elm tree, probably weighed, you know, thousands of pounds. And but anyway, her crew cleaned that up since it was her tree. They came into my yard and got that part, which was the worst damage here. So that saved me a lot of work. And today I went out front and cleaned up all the fallen branches in the front yard and the side yards and raked everything up. And so I've got a bunch of piles of leaves, and the backyard is just, you know, there's debris all over the place, and there's trees that need to come down. And I had a guy give me an estimate for taking one tree down that was close to my house, because I'm worried about it being, it's a cedar elm, which they're not as strong as an oak, obviously. Those are the ones that are coming down, although I did have some oaks come down too. It's confirmed that there was a tornado that came through here. So I don't think it touched the ground. I've driven through the neighborhood, and there's a lot of tree damage like I've got, but I haven't seen anybody's roof ripped off or anything like that. So I got the front yard all cleaned up, and I'm going to have to get back here tomorrow and start cleaning up the backyard. I don't think it's a one-day job for me. It'll take me a couple days just to burn all the crap. So anyway, I did have that one tree estimated, and by the people that were taking the tree down off my fence, And the guy said just for that one tree, it was going to be $700 to take it down. And yeah, that seems like a lot of money to me. And he speaks Spanish, which I understand Spanish pretty well, so I knew what they were talking about. Not exactly everything, but he was saying it would take, he was talking to his partner, and they said it was 2 guys for 3 hours. So that's 6 man-hours. And he wanted $600 for that, plus $100 to haul everything away. I understand they have to pay a disposal fee, so I get that, but $100 an hour for, that's pretty good pay for a tree trimming guy, don't you think? So I've been kicking around buying one of those sky lift things that's on 4 wheels that you can drive around. It's a scissor lift is what it is. And you know, if I can get up there high enough, I can cut that stuff myself. I've got a good chainsaw that'll cut through anything out here. So, and if I did that, I wouldn't be just cutting down one tree. I'd be doing all the tree trimming that's been needed in this place before the storm came. So, well, I'm gonna wait and see what the insurance guy says about it, and then we'll go from there. In the beginning of this video, I said it was April 10th, but it's actually May 10th. So please excuse the error there. The vegetable garden is pretty ripped up. I mean, I lost a few tomato plants, and a lot of the tomatoes that were on the plants either fell on the ground, or the plants themselves got severed by large hail. So, you know, big hail, it was big, hard hail, and at a later time I'll show you the damage it did to my vehicles. It put big dents like on the lower parts of the sides of my trailer and my truck. So this was, you know, those stones were probably baseball size at least. Okay, so that's a summary of what's going on. You know, just you know, the thing with gardening is that it's a therapeutic thing that you do, and the benefit is in the doing it. You know, you're not always going to get good results because you can't control everything that goes on. You definitely can't control the weather. So I'm fortunate that I had the shade cloth over the big garden, because that saved a lot of those tomato plants from being destroyed. Because if it wasn't for that shade cloth, my whole garden would be just destroyed. So things like the beets, the onions, the leeks, all, you know, had their day. It was time to pull them up, because a lot of that stuff got uprooted, not completely uprooted, but the roots got disturbed by wind at a key time in their development. So, you know, all that stuff's picked. I got enough cucumbers for a couple of jars of pickles, which I'll make probably tomorrow. I picked all my beets, and I'm probably going to can a couple jars of pickled beets, which Nancy and I both like. So anyway, yeah, we had a tornado come through here. It was scary. We were in the center bathroom, hunkered down with the 2 dogs, and we could hear the hail hitting, and it was pretty scary. So, you know, you never know what's going to happen with something like that. I don't think the tornado actually touched down on the ground. I think it was hovering just above tree level maybe, which kind of accounts for all the tree damage that we have. But the amount of wind it took to bust some of these huge trees, I mean, that's a significant amount of wind. You're talking 100 miles an hour at least. So, that's the way it is. I got work to do.